I think this award gives potentially another dynamic of the workforce on the Isle of Man the opportunity to achieve something which they wouldn't necessarily have with some of the more, I suppose, traditional awards or ceremonies that take place on the Isle of Man. I think the 30 under 30 just covers a lot more areas within the Isle of Man. It's not necessarily all about business. This is about celebrating success of people who have achieved things. You know, people don't necessarily have to be in business to be leaders, to have the characteristics to be role models. That might be within schools, it might be within just coaching, it could be within taking something from a charitable perspective, building it and helping get people involved in terms of developing this community even further on the Isle of Man. I think it's kind of a mix of disciplines really. You don't want to have someone who is just specific or niche to a certain area. You want to have someone who is maybe a little bit outside the box than what you'd normally have from a specific award. I mean, usually awards are tailored to you know, one area that someone's excelled in. I think this one gives the opportunity where they've covered many different aspects. If you think about someone who's, there's an example in one of the cyclists who's in the Commonwealth Games team, type 1 diabetes sufferer who has obviously progressed from being just a local sportsman in a different industry. He's now managed to develop himself from a triathlete through to a professional cyclist for an all diabetic professional team. He is going out and doing lectures all around the world, enhancing and creating a charitable event from the back of these things as well to help research for diabetes. I think that's the kind of example that you'd be looking for from this as one example. But I think also, you know, the entrepreneurial side of things, there's plenty of people on the Isle of Man who have gone and established their own business off their own back, made successes out of it. Potentially, if they haven't had success in the past, they've also gone to the next level. You know, that is the ethos that you want from people. What I want as a judge is I want to see the next sort of, the next generation come through. You know, motivation's a key factor, leadership is a key factor. You want to see people who are kind of helping others around them get to the next level. So why did Newfield get involved in the 30 under 30? I think most of our staff, the average age here is probably about 23 or 24, so it's quite applicable. We've been trying to target a much younger audience base for our kind of primary driver. We're still openly looking for people to increase our recruitment drive. If there's an opportunity, if someone has the potential to do well, I think you'll always find the Isle of Man population gets behind them, whether that have been X Factor, whether that have been, you know, the musical opportunities of Sam Barks, who's progressed on well. Sports, I mean, I don't think there's many places around the world you're going to get people batting well above their average like the Isle of Man do in the sports scene, and the local population always gets behind everyone. You see people at the airport welcoming these athletes back. They're all amateurs, and I don't think that you would ever get that potentially anywhere else. I'm not sure if Jersey and Guernsey are the same. I will always say that the Isle of Man's better than them, obviously, having been from here. But I think that one of the things we always do is help support and help to push people on to that next level. I suppose the beauty about the judging panel is that not everyone is kind of geared around to one discipline again. I think that, you know, you look at various people who have obviously achieved success within industry or within business or within charities, or even, you know, teachers are on our judging panel. I think that it means that we can stretch, I suppose, the number of potential applicable candidates or applicable award winners. It will kind of cover in a lot more ground in terms of the pool that they might come from. I also think a lot of these people may have the opportunity to give a lot more feedback into some of these, into some of the criteria than potentially you would do it again if it was industry specific. Various people obviously on the Isle of Man, it's not just about what you do in work, it's what you do outside of work. It's a work hard, play hard sort of environment here, whether that again be sport, whether that be in the arts, whether that be in culture. I think that with this panel, you're going to see a number of potential award winners which you wouldn't normally see off the back of that. This is about role models. This is about the future role models of of the Isle of Man, and representatives of the Isle of Man. You know, let's not kid ourselves, these people might not be kind of permanently Isle of Man based, but they are going to be carrying the Isle of Man, I suppose, brand and banner around with them wherever they go. And I think it's important to help them realise their goals, help them understand that, you know, they are very much appreciated in our local community as they stand at the moment, and potentially give them the motivation to push them to the next level. They've already potentially achieved a lot. Let's try and push them to achieve even more.